Right guys, look, car park, Torrey Pines, the famous car park. 40 minutes of shoe changing. I could do that video if you wish. I am Tiger Woods. So we're going to do Torrey Pines. I'm going to get as much footage as possible playing with a few people, so it's not really a filming trip, but I'll get as much as I can. Torrey Pines. Yes please. I cannot wait to see this place. Let's get stuck in. Right, let's walk you around my Torrey Pines South course round. So first tee was pretty special. Hole was playing 445 yards, so 445 yards. Long par 4. As you can see, I had a decent drive, 275, not bad for my first drive of the day. It was slightly downhill. And I'm hitting right into the area where the bunkers are catching you. It was fun around the first tee. You know, it's a special place, US Open's there and what have you. The start, watched the videos, it was a pro there, which was really nice to speak to. He was all very complimentary, which was fun. Just nice to meet people, certainly on the other side of the world, who kind of watch and learn and take things from the videos. That was really nice. Had a very basic shot to the green. Pin was at the front, so it was right in the narrow part, but only a 7-iron. I hit a really bad kind of push, not a great shot into the front bunker. And then I had my first experience at Torrey Pines and how you can't miss the greens in certain areas. I literally had no bunker shot. Trying to stop it in that portion of green was really hard. I didn't manage. I went through into the other bunker, then up and down, luckily, for my 5. So in the end, it was a good scramble 5. But from the tee shot, I should have really been making more of that hole. If we move on to the next hole, second, hit again another nice drive into the bunker area, and then only had a wedge onto the green. Green was really built up again. If you missed this green, you were in real trouble, but hit a nice wedge on. 2 putts, not the closest wedge in the world, but it was decent for me, nice and pin high. Moving on to the third hole. This hole was just one of the ones you want to see. It was playing 159, about 160 yards. I think it was just over 160 it measured. Dramatically downhill, surrounded. I mean, it just looks like it's on the edge of the world, this hole. It's stunning. It's signature-esque. Hit an easy 9. I didn't really get it all, and I was so scared of going long. It came up just between the bunker and the green. Left a tricky little chip, which I played okay, just didn't read the slope very well, and then hold one of my saving par putts. But third at Torrey Pines South is one of those signature standout, beautiful golf holes. Such a treat to play that one. Then we go on to the fourth. Again, you've got the big drop off of the ocean here. I'm driving right into the narrowest part again from this tee. From the tees we were playing off, fourth was measuring 4, 6, 7 par 5. A good drive, but just pushed it kind of 5 yards into the fairway bunker. Wasn't lying that great. I wanted to hit my hybrid, which in effect is my 4-iron, but I was worried I wasn't going to get it out of the lip, so I hit a hard 5-iron, got it front edge, or just short of, and 2-putted, which I would take. It was interesting at this point, though. It was very obvious that if you carried the ball 300 yards plus, you're actually hitting into this bigger, wider area past this bunker I went in here. So the hole did actually open out for the bigger hitters here. You could really see the advantage of for the longer players on a hole like this, because this one wasn't far off being off the back tee for us. If we move on to the fifth, again driving right between the bunkers, hit a really good drive here, then a lovely 7-iron for me right into the middle of the green, got my little feather fade, exactly how I'd like to play it. And it was the first chance I got to see a downhill putt at Torrey, which was just lightning. I hit a nice putt, I thought, and it ran almost 10 foot past. I had to hold one back for par, which I did. But it was like really kind of scared me for the rest of the round. It was shocking how fast kind of downhill these greens were, where I didn't really notice it so much at the start, putting on the more levels and slightly uphill. Now moving on to the sixth, great par 5, real opportunity to get one back, only measuring 530 from our tees, 560 from the backs, which we weren't allowed to play off. I hit a really good drive just on the wrong line. I couldn't trust that you had to go over this tree on the right. I just, from the tee, all you see is this is a massive chasm here, massive drop here on the right. And that's all you look at, really. So I kind of aimed at the bunkers and didn't fade it like I was trying to. Kind of just went dead straight. Ended up in the bunker, hacked out with my 4-iron, which is my 23-degree hybrid. In a lovely place to now capitalise. Little pitch onto the green. little bit of a fin bullet. Not ultimate fin bullet, but it was at the bottom of the club. I went over the back and I experienced Torrey Pines short side, no chips. So long rough, downhill, hitting onto a down slope with a tee beyond, no chance. Lobbed it up, hit it a little bit too hard because I wasn't leaving it in the rough. It ran over the green and 2 good putts for a bogey. So a real kind of disappointment on that one, really, because I put myself in decent positions. Even the tee shot was a safe miss, and then just really mucked up around the green, which was very frustrating. 7th hole, dramatic hole, doglegging right. I pushed my drive, hit a really nice high drawing 7-iron over quite a tall tree, which I was quite happy with. Missed the green by a yard. I was gutted. And then had a really tricky up and down, which I managed to do. Flopped it right up high and managed to up and down it for par, luckily there, because that was looking like could have been lots. Because again, when you miss the greens at Torrey, if you're in the wrong spot, it's so difficult. It's the most noticeable factor of this place. Off the tee's relatively wide. I'm sure they grow the rough up US Open style. You'd be wanting to get on the trample bits by the spectators, but missing the greens was, you had to miss in the right place or you literally had no shot. Moving on to the 8th. Simple little par 3 uphill, very sloping green. Hit a really nice 8-iron. 8th was measuring around 164 for us, but it was down breeze, so I reckon it was playing around 150, but I kind of misjudged. As you can see, they came up, or I landed on the tee and spun back. Decent 2 putts for par, but from the tee shot, how I hit it, I was wanting to have a better look at birdie, just poor clubbing really on that one. Saying that, if you went beyond the hole, which I think my next club would have, you would have had a really tricky downhill putt, but I would have been closer to the hole. Next hole, par 5, again driving right between the bunkers, as you can see there. Again, longer hitters would be carrying these, and there was plenty of room. Hit a good 3-wood, just slightly pulled it into these traps on the left. Had a tricky kind of 40-yard bunk shot, which I hit to about 10 foot. I was really happy with, and then just didn't really give the putt any kind of break like I needed to. But a kind of average front 9, nothing really happening with a few loose shots, just to drop a few, which was a shame. Just typical, not practiced enough, not tight enough golf, but nothing disastrous. Moving on to the 10th, quite a nice little par 4, nothing too long, around 380 yards off the tee. Good drive between the bunkers, just running through. A little wedge to about 8 foot. Again, didn't quite get the putt on the right line, but a very simple par. Next, par 3. What was this one measuring? This was measuring, yeah, about 205 actually. Straight downhill, but into the wind. So I was right between my 2 hybrids. I've got my 17 and 23. So I hit my my 23 quite hard. Hit it right down the flag. I was really happy with it. Just came up 20 foot short into the narrow part of the green. Easy 2 putts for a par, which you'd take on that hole all day long. 12th hole. Now this hole is a beast of a hole. It's 504 from the backs, par 4. We were playing it at we were playing it at around 470 into the wind. This is straight into. Now from the tee, I really messed this one up. I thought the bail was more on the right, because when you stand on the tee, it just looks like this out of bounds is really reachable down here on the left. And it wasn't. I should have been going kind of left-hand side, moving it into the middle. Instead, I went down the middle, hoping for the perfect drive, and just moved it into the right-hand trap. If I'd aimed left-hand side, which I should have, I was just worried of the out of bounds, which was actually nowhere near in play, really, for how far left I would ever hit a driver. I would have been okay. So I was right at the face of the lip. I was a bit head off at this stage. Had 2 goes to get out. As you can see there, pitching wedge, then a gap wedge, front edge, decent 2 putts for my 6. It was a real mess, to be honest. It was a mental mess for me as well. I was so frustrated of not really understanding the course and just letting shots go, because not particularly I hit a bad drive, just because I didn't use my bails correctly through not knowing the hole. Should have kept my head on. That should have been a 5, but I didn't, so you got to just live and learn. Moved on to the 13th, par 5 again. You just stare at bunkers here on the tee. So I went up the left, caught the rough, hit a decent drive, just again didn't really choose the right line, again not knowing the hole. Got a good lie in the rough. Second shot really is steep uphill up to this green, so I just tried to whack the 3-wood, tried to get it as close to the green as I could, which I hit okay, just short of the bunkers. Pitched up, real blind again onto a real high raised up green, not much green to work with, so I hit my lob wedge, chucked it up high, 15-foot pass, which I was kind of happy with, and I actually rolled the putt in. I saw the line, I started it there, and I was very happy, so I got my birdie there, which anyone who knows my game, if I'm ever getting a birdie, I'm very happy. So next hole, 14th, measuring around 420 from our tees, wind slightly off the left. You stare at bunkers, bails on the right, but I was really, after my birdie, I wanted to try and get some shots back. I hit a really good drive down the middle left, which cut the hole down. Simple little 9-iron to the green, ball was slightly above my feet. Didn't strike it that well, pulled it left. So about a 25-foot putt, 2 putts for my pars. I was a bit disappointed I didn't capitalise with my 9-iron in there, but that's the pattern of my golf at the minute. Irons are just not kind of tight enough. I don't really know where they're going when I stand over them, so it's hard to chuck it at the hole. If I played more on the course, people think I play a lot. I don't play from week to week, so I stand over an iron. My driver, I kind of know where it's going. My iron, I don't. I never play golf like that. When I used to play, I used to know where my irons were going so I could attack and defend. At the moment, I don't know if I'm going to push them or pull them, which is making golf harder for me at the moment. If we move on to the 15th, now this hole was really interesting. 15th was measuring for us around 400 yards. The back tee was 478, much further back, kind of back here, you see just on the maps maybe. So that's a killer hole from back there. But then saying that, for me, I hit a good drive, middle left, little gap wedge onto the green. I went at the flag, and the flag was kind of at a pimple at the right. Didn't throw it long enough, caught the bunker. Not impressed with that. Missing a green with a wedge at the minute is too common for me. And then I actually upped and downed it for my par. It was quite good up and down, because again I had no green. I kind of missed it in the wrong place. The only benefit, I was on the upslope of the bunker, so I could chuck it up high. Now if I was off the back tee here, so if we put that 100 yards back, to be honest with you, this sounds silly, but I think I wouldn't have minded using my hybrid into that green. So I would have had, about 180, because it wasn't quite 100 yards back. So I'd have been between 5-iron and hybrid, which I feel I can hit on the green as much at the moment as a gap wedge in a funny way. I wouldn't be able to tap the flag maybe, but I do feel like I would have made the same score there. I do feel if I played that hole enough, obviously I would birdie it more hitting a gap wedge in than I would a hybrid. But I would have felt like I could have made a par fair. So the long tee there, yes, it would have made the hole harder, and the stats would prove that. But personally, I felt like I would have still came out with the same score 7 or 8 times out of 10. So an interesting hole from the 2 tees. Then if we move on to the 16th, this was obviously highlight of the trip. Yes, I haven't not beat. It was measuring 203 or 4 yards, and I hit my hybrid 23 degrees into the hole. Yes, please, in one. What a treat. Torrey Pines have a hole in one on one of the longer holes as well. It was just such a special moment. It was fantastic. So I was a bit worried, like the last par 3, I was going to come up a bit short. So I put the ball back in my stance to try and get some less loft delivered at impact. Now when I do that, as people were saying, oh, where's your fade gone? When I put the ball back in my stance, it tends to move my path more to the right. So the faces now becomes more closed to the path, so I tend to hit little draws if I'm going to punch it. So I aimed it down the right, hit it really hard, trying to knock it down a little bit with a 23, bounced with it a foot short of the hole, popped in the hole. So great for score, getting me back somewhere near par, but also fantastic experience to have on the trip. It was a real treat. So that's looks quite unique, doesn't it? Now 17th. On the tee, really didn't know what I was doing apart from giggling a lot, because I just had a hole in one. Hole was measuring 430 yards. I kind of just whacked my driver. I was in a daze, pushed it over on near the bunkers, didn't quite go in them. Luckily caught the upslope of the bunker, because again this green was quite built up. You needed to stop it quickly and it was downwind. So from the rough I was going to struggle to do that, but the launch pad helped me. Hit a really good 7-iron, literally missed the green by half a yard, and I was on the upslope of one of the big banks in the long rough, threw my lob wedge up, hit the flag, almost went in. I was like on such a high there, but then was stiff, so that was a nice easy par. And then finishing on the par 5, again I'm driving right into the bunker area, hit a good drive, just pushed it a fraction. Again from the tee I thought I hit it well, but when we got up there it was in the bunker, just not quite seeing the hole as well as I could. So I just hit a 5-iron out, because you got this lake short of the green. gapped a wedge on, which spanned almost to the front of the green. Not a very good gap wedge again. And 2 putts on my par for a very enjoyable round. Round one of the most enjoyable courses through its history of watching it on telly that I've ever had. The most noticeable thing for me with Torrey is it was quite open. You could really understand how the Bombers would love this course. I know they grow it up for US Open rough and what have you, but they do get trampled down, and often if they've only got a wedge, they can still do things to get it near the green. It was that if you miss the greens at this place, you were going to take a lot. If you were missing greens and not particularly hitting your irons in that well, you were just going to have a lot on this hole. So I'm just going to sign this round now. You can see that I'm 50% fairways accuracy. I'm 56 between greens and regulation, 56%, and I scrambled at 63%. So 1 over I was quite happy with, considering how average I hit the ball. Obviously the hole in one helped me out quite a lot there. But I do feel like if you practice, you know, if you were on your game, you could score around Torrey. But it was fine differences or tiny differences between posting the score and posting 6, 7, 8 over, just by missing the green by a little bit and not up and down it. There you go, guys. Torrey Pines Golf Course South. Loved it. What a place. It's such a special part of the world that thanks to Callaway Golf for setting it up, who invited me over there actually, which was a real treat. But yeah, fantastic place. Thanks for watching. Post comments down below if you played it, you want to play it, let me know. It's a public course, so lots of people in the area do play it. How do you get on? I was relatively happy with my round, and obviously the hole in one makes me very happy with my round. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for loads more videos. Find me on Instagram at Crossfield Mark, also on Twitter at 4golfonline. Find me on Facebook, Mark Crossfield. Thanks for watching. Post comments as always, and see you soon.